Finding coordinates. Find the coordinates of the following points and state what quadrant they are located in. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do before even looking at any of these points is label my x and y axes. So as we know, the x-axis is a horizontal line and the y-axis is the vertical line. The next thing I'm going to do is I know I need to figure out what quadrant they're in, so let's label the quadrants as well so it makes that final step a little easier. So starting from the top right, we've got quadrant 1, then we've got quadrant 2 over here, and bottom left is quadrant 3, and quadrant 4 is the bottom right. So I've labeled those as well. So now that we have our basic information down, let's figure out our first point, which is point A. So I'm just going to write A, B, C, D, and E because these are the coordinates I need to figure out. All right, let's start with A. So we're always going to start at the origin, which is where the x and y axes cross. And let's see how we've moved horizontally to get to A. So I moved 2 in the positive direction to get to A. And then let's see what's happening moving up. So we want 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 vertical movements to get to point A. So I'm going to write this as a point, so you have to remember your brackets as 2, 3. So x comes before y, so it's always going to be x, y. And then finally, we're going to state what quadrant it's in. I'm just going to say, I'll write it out fully, but in the next ones, I'll just put a big Q. And we've already written out that the first quadrant is where x and y are positive, so this is in quadrant 1. Okay, so now let's erase what we just did here and look at our second point, which is point B, which is in quadrant 4 already, but we'll get to that when we get there. So starting right at the middle here, like we did before, let's see how many we went over horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and B is right below, so we went 5 horizontally, and vertically we went down 2. So we went in the negative direction 2. Okay, we didn't go up 2, it would have been a positive 2, but because we went down 2, it's negative 2. So my answer for point B is 5 and negative 2. And it's in quadrant, we've already got it labeled, 4. That wasn't too bad. Let's try C now. C is on the y-axis, so we're not actually moving left or right at all here. So our x shift will be a 0. But vertically, we are going down 1, so it's a negative 1 there. So our answer for this one is, well, because we didn't move horizontally anywhere from the origin, it's going to be 0 and then negative 1. Now, that point doesn't actually lie in a quadrant. It's not in quadrant 3, it's not in quadrant 4. So the answer here is no quadrant. It's on the y-axis, so I'm just writing it shorthand because now I'm going into my graph. So it's not actually in a quadrant, it's actually on the axis, so you'd say no quadrant, point lies on the y-axis. Okay, let's try D now. So D, we are moving horizontally, as you can see, in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I moved in the horizontal direction, negative 5 points. And I'm also going down 2, 3, 4 in the negative direction. So that's why it's a negative 4. So my answer for D is negative 5, negative 4, because x is written before y, and this one is in quadrant 3. Not too bad. One more example here. Let's figure out the coordinates for point E here. So once again, starting from the origin, I'm horizontally moving to the left 1, so I went in the negative direction, and I'm going up 1 in the positive direction. So my answer here is -1, 1. And it is in quadrant 2. And there you have it. This is how we state the coordinates for points on a graph. Now there's some practice problems for you to try in your learning guide, so make sure you do those and then check your answers with the answer key. Good luck!